Thanksgiving. Turkey, pilgrims, and your weird MAGA hog uncle you only see once a year. A surprisingly popular holiday among Americans. I did not expect it to be second place on most polls. But for such a popular holiday, I don't see many people make videos about it. Why is that? There's so many fun things about Thanksgiving, and so many brown and yellow foods that are just ripe for tier listing. Well, that's what we're here to do today, to give you that juicy Thanksgiving content we know you've been craving.
First up has got to be one of my favorite foods in existence, the humble potato. An American original, the potato is most frequently found mashed on the Thanksgiving dinner plate. But I've also had it roasted, baked, smashed, funeralized in celebration of Thanksgiving. She's versatile, she's nutritious, she's a Thanksgiving staple, S tier.
Next on the list is the most ubiquitous Thanksgiving treat, a juicy ass turkey. Extra giblets. Perhaps the whitest of all meats, and by that I mean white people love this shit. And hey, I'm white, so you bet your ass I love it too. If it's done right and not dry as a fucking bone. I put it in A tier. And I know what you're wondering. Yes, I prefer white over dark. Wait, nope, that's not what I...
This next one is perhaps the most divisive of the Thanksgiving staples. Many people love it, others can't stand it, and still others treat it like I do eggnog. One serving a year is enough to get me through. Of course, we're talking about pumpkin's pie. Now, I could take it or leave it, generally speaking. The texture can be really bad sometimes, and depending on who made it, quite bland. I'll always take a piece if there's some homemade whipped cream, but I think due to its general divisive nature, we've got to give it a B. Well, maybe even a C.
How about the aesthetic? Very cozy. From the decorations to the plates of food, there are so many beautiful shades of yellow and brown and dark brown and beige. Gravy, stuffing, pies, and potatoes cooked 4 different ways. As a side note, I'd like to say I love that almost every Thanksgiving food isn't a solid, but also not quite a liquid. They all sit in some non-Newtonian state, sort of like sludge, a plate of Thanksgiving sludge. I give the aesthetic a C.
Genocide, F. Land theft, F. Manifest destiny, F. The first foundational myth of the United States of America, Thanksgiving, is a 400-year-old plus lie that provides cover for not only the initial violent contact and the resulting relations between Europeans and Native Americans, but also does so to justify the centuries of genocide and land theft that followed. In all likelihood, the first Thanksgiving was nothing more than a harvest feast to which the local Wampanoag tribe attended as a form of diplomacy, seeing as both groups had just signed a mutual defense treaty. It was a one-time event, only known to history because its mention, a mere paragraph, survived in the journal of one of these original settlers. The perpetuation of this myth, that newcomers to the continent peacefully feasted with ambiguous Indians, is a total perversion of history that feeds into the justification of the ways in which Europeans lied, killed, and stole from indigenous nations. This myth also erases the histories and sovereignty of the hundreds, if not thousands, of native nations who had lived on this continent for at least 15,000 years prior to European colonization. And finally, the stereotypes perpetuated by this myth continued to do active harm to native nations, especially the Wampanoag, who, despite losing 90% plus of their population due to the arrival of Europeans, survived and still call that area home. So fuck the Thanksgiving myth and just enjoy your dry-ass turkey with your MAGA uncle without all the bullshit.
Cranberry sauce. P.U. F tier.